sending comments. Like I'm commenting
well,
on.
I'm gonna notify a bunch of people here. Anyways, we're live. So
right.
Everybody, welcome to another episode here of Whiskey Thursday. Super excited. This is
and this happens every Thursday, right?
Yeah, every Thursday.
Just checking. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Every Thursday. And as you've noticed, there are only 3 of us here. Somebody's missing tonight, but that's okay. We're really pumped to have Cheryl tonight with us, who's going to talk about probably one of the best client acquisition strategies that I have seen. But before we get into that, I've got a couple of things I'd like to talk about. But what's that?
I said, oh, do you?
Oh, I do. I always do. But Matt, I'm going to let you do your thing here like you do every Thursday when we do these. Go nuts.
All right, guys, if you're watching live, hashtag live in the comments below. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay in the comments below. And also let us know where you're watching from and what you're drinking tonight while you watch.
Woo-hoo. I've got red wine, and I'm already like done this one, so I'm gonna have to go find another one hiding here in the house.
Oh my gosh!
Some honey Jack Daniels here.
There we go.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Awesome. So like I said, we have Cheryl with us
Are you
tonight.
Well, straight, thanks. Cheryl?
No, there's a little bit of ginger ale in there.
Okay, yeah. Nice. Good drink.
So welcome, Cheryl, to tonight's episode. Really happy to have you on. Thank you so much for popping on. So just before I go ahead and get started, so a couple things. Austin's missing again.
Hashtag where's Austin?
That's right. So I think that if we can get some people, my stupid phone's going off like crazy here. If we can get some people here, why don't you comment down below? We miss you, Austin. If he sees enough people, he might actually pop on from the airport. So it looks like he's traveling tonight. So if you guys are missing Austin, comment down below. We miss you, Austin. Maybe he'll see this and he'll pop his
like blow up.
Just keep tagging the guy. So that's the first thing. Second thing is I don't know if you guys just caught that post inside the group, but if you people think you can go around scamming other people's copy from other people's courses, I just want to remind everybody that there are a ton of loyal Dan Henry group members in this group, Jeff Miller's group as well. And a bunch of other groups. So if you think you can get away with it, be careful because people will call you out.
If you think you're going to go snag somebody's, case study or whatever from another group where they did awesome and then post it as your own somewhere else in a smaller group, that's not a real great idea, because the thing is, like, you're obviously grabbing a real estate related case study, and majority of the real estate related marketers are moving over to this group for real estate marketing specific topics. So not your best choice.
No.
But it is entertaining. So
that's right. So anybody that missed that post, basically it was a guy by the name of Zachary who posted basically word for word somebody else, Dan Henry's case study from his course, and threw it up in here, and well, finally somebody called him out, which was good. So
and I messaged you because I was like, something's off on this one, right?
Totally off.
Like, something's off.
You even said, like, this guy's a good copywriter. Like, this is interesting.
Yeah, and the best part was when somebody asked for the ads before he did all the changes. He said, "I can't share that information due to agreements signed and non-disclosures. Would love to talk to you more about it, though."
But he could share the current ad that he was doing for them, right?
Yeah, but he couldn't share the current ad. That's what I thought was crazy. I'm like, wait, you're going to share the winner, but you can't share the broken ad that you fixed with none of the client's info. Okay.
So I thought that was interesting. Anyways, another big event over the past couple of weeks that happened. We hit 1,000 members, which is awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for all your support. Way past it, which is great.
I'm looking 1,200.
Yeah, which is awesome. So really cool. We're all really happy about that, and thanks everybody for supporting us and going out and grabbing a few more members so that we could hit that 1,000. That was really cool. So, and I think that's pretty much all I have. Nothing else.
No, I think we're ready to start talking to Cheryl, right? And get into
absolutely.
Real estate secrets, because this is what I'm waiting for. I love the acquisition method.
Yeah. So Matt, why don't you just start this off here? I'm gonna go ahead and
try and find
notify people. Yeah, I'm gonna notify a few people here, but you take over here first.
Okay, awesome. So Cheryl, you are crushing it in the client acquisition. I mean, you've brought on how many clients and like how many in retainers just in the last or I guess in one day? What was your record in one day?
So number and client wise or revenue wise?
Total revenue and clients.
Both. Yeah, I have to do the numbers, but so the biggest record so far, I signed 3 clients at 1,000 each for 3-month commitments. So, yeah.
So
do the math on that.
$1,000 there, and then you also sold tickets to the event.
Yeah, so I sold about 1,400 or 1,500 in basically registration sales. So I actually forgot to add those numbers in, Shane, when I sent you the.
Yeah, I thought so. When I was doing the math, it was a little. I thought it was a little off.
Yeah, so, yeah. Now that you mentioned that, yeah. So yeah, each time I sold about 1,000 plus in registration fees. So it's essentially like free client acquisition. So
$10,000 in a single day, and. Not only that, but what was your ad spend, I guess, on that in order to bring all that in? And also, we're at 19 viewers. Guys, comment a bunch. Let's get more engagement in here. The more engagement, the more people see this, the more people jump in and join the live. So anyways, yeah, what was your ad spend in order to get that?
Yeah, so ironically, I didn't run ads to fill most of the seats. So each, I know, right? So for each event, I sold one seat through a Facebook ad, and that's just because I was trying to do it on the cheap and save money. So as soon as I got an ROI from the Facebook ads, I was like, that's it. I don't want to, go deep in the hole if it doesn't keep working.
Right.
So the strategy that I primarily used was cold email, believe it or not. So I had someone from Upwork scrape a bunch of contact info, because as we all know, agents are easy to find. They want you to, call them and talk to them. So, name, cell phone numbers, and loaded all that up into and basically a cold email platform, QuickMail, and just drafted an email and, just sent out the cold emails and people signed up. A couple times I used an appointment setter to follow up on the emails that went out, and it worked. One out of so I've done this 3 times. So the first time I did it, the appointment center was really good, and she closed a lot of deals. The second 2 times, they were different appointment setters because the good one wasn't available anymore. So they were not helpful at all. It ended up being like a total waste. Basically, sold probably 98% of them through cold email, and I've had, I think, total for all the events, around a little over 50 people attend. Yep.
Very nice. That's awesome. So real quick, give us a brief background on yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Because a lot of people are sitting here going, wait, you sold tickets, you made money, I still don't know what's going on. So let's get a brief background on you, and then tell us a little bit more about what you're doing.
Yeah. So how far back do you want me to go on the background as far as the Facebook stuff, or?
Well, yeah, let's, what brought you into Facebook? How'd you get to the real estate side? And before we do that, Shane, we also have to announce that we have something coming up, right? Shane.
Yeah, hang on a second here.
Okay, we'll announce that in a second, guys. We haven't
still trying to
notify everybody. Okay, we do have a really cool announcement coming up. We're going to tell you a little bit about it, and then we'll tell you the rest at the end because we don't want to interrupt what's going on here. So anyways, go ahead, Cheryl. Again, basically, what brought you into Facebook ads, and then what brought you to the real estate side of it?
Yeah, so basically, I spent about a dozen years in financial services. After college, I went to work on Wall Street, and I did that for a while. And I had basically worked at 3 big companies and had a mix of like marketing, research, reporting, analytical roles. So never really had the same job twice, but had that same sort of kind of marketing element to them.
Okay.
And in March, 2017, got laid off and decided that I wasn't going to go back to work. I was the kind of person who always wanted to be an entrepreneur and Working full time. I was the one who would buy those, like, those real estate investing courses, hoping I could do that on.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing. It's what got me into real estate, so I can't complain.
Yeah, no, they're good. I never really had the time to put into them to really make them work. But so that's where I started kind of educating myself on real estate. And then about 2 years ago, I actually got my license. So I'm in New York, so licensed in the state of New York. And I actually got my license while I was still working full time. So I haven't really been super active with my license. I'll refer deals here and there, but I haven't been super active with it. But I find that my clients like the fact that I'm licensed because they know that I get it and, I understand the industry. So in terms of what brought me to Facebook ads, like I said, I got laid off March 2017 and was looking for different ways to, kind of be a consultant and not have to go back to work, and kind of stumbled upon the whole online course of, being a consultant and having an agency, and bought one course after the other and kind of went into the whole, analysis paralysis mode for a while, but learned a bunch about Facebook ads and started with a bunch of different niches, and then finally came back to real estate and figured, it makes sense for me to focus on this area, given, that I'm licensed, my background. And so I've been focusing exclusively or primarily on real estate probably since around the summertime, May-ish.
Okay, so you're a licensed agent. That's kind of what pushed you in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. What made you get licensed?
I always had an interest in real estate, and I figured that when I left my corporate job, whenever that was going to be, then that would be, a good avenue to pursue. So I'd have, another source of income, another way to make money. So,
okay.
So that was a big motivator, and just my like perpetual interest in real estate. I was like the nerdy kid in high school. I started reading like the Robert Allen books, like Multiple Streams of Income and Rich Dad Poor Dad. I did all that kind of stuff when I was young. So I kind of like was bit by the bug, but never really, took much action on any of it.
Yeah, I don't think I could have put the Xbox controller down long enough to read anything in high school. I mean, I passed by the skin of my teeth, so I can't relate there. But tell us a little bit about what you're doing now, as far as, how are you acquiring all these clients?
So can I just interrupt for 2 seconds here?
Okay.
I want to, because I just.
Were you reading books in high school too, Shane?
No, honestly, I wasn't. I don't know. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I couldn't read in high school, which is crazy. Oh, yeah. Like so I switched from, so when I was actually 8 years old, I wasn't able to, I could barely speak English. And when I got to high school, I could barely write or read in English. And I switched to an English high school. I ended up failing my first 3 years of grade 9, 3 years in a row, because it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
It's okay. You were the guy who was old enough at senior year to buy liquor for everybody, right?
Yeah, something like that. but yeah, so it was, and even when I was 21, so I started this company when I was 21, and of course, English is sort of the language of business, right? I couldn't write an email. I remember that, like, sitting in front of, it was terrible. We didn't, like, back when I was 21, you didn't have internet like you do now. So it was like, I had a dictionary with me. I had the thesaurus on Word, and they struggled writing emails. Yeah, it was tough. Anyways,
wow. Which is crazy because now
before English.
I'm sorry.
Were you speaking another language before English? Like you had to learn, like switch over and learn English from another language?
No, I couldn't speak.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding. No, French is my primary.
I wondered that at first too.
Like fluent. Okay.
No, that's great.
That's French crazy. Is my primary language.
I didn't even know that. I don't I hear the Canadian accent, but I don't hear the French accent.
I don't have an accent. I don't have an accent in French, and I don't have one in English.
Yeah, you rarely hear the Canadian accent. It's usually when he says about. But that's crazy, because now you actually, I mean, you school me, man, when it comes to writing. I mean, your writing is top notch. I mean, look at those pages in the post that we put out whenever we launch something.
Yeah,
I mean, that's always Shane's writing, guys.
It's years and years of practice. It's it's been tough. Like it's I put together proposals and multiple hundreds and hundreds of proposals just back in the day, and it's pure practice. And what I used to do is I used to take other people's proposals and just read through them to try to figure out what I was going to do. Contracts, same thing. Even now, when I like all these launch posts and websites or any content that I have to put together, I have to read other people's stuff to just kind of and I still get, there's a lot of things I still get confused, like different words that sound the same but aren't spelt the same. I still have a hard time with that. So, because we don't have that, like in French, you don't have that.
Yeah, English is annoying that way.
Yeah, so.
Which is funny. Yeah, my wife will actually proofread all of our stuff, and I had no idea it's because it was, you had a difficulty with it at some point. So I guess that just makes me look dumb because it was never difficult. I just still mess it up. So thank God for her, right?
Yeah.
But no, that's cool.
So anyways, let's get back on track here. Enough about about that. But so the reason why I interrupted, first of all, I just want to remind everybody that's just joining us now. We're talking with Cheryl, and I was blown away. So Cheryl's actually part of, was one of my original students in my beta program, which is awesome. And then, we started chatting, and she was telling me more about what she was doing and how she was acquiring clients. And I was just completely blown away. And I believe when I spoke to you last night, you've basically made about $24,000 in 3 days and acquired 11 clients. I mean, that's basically it, right? So
yeah,
somewhere around that, right?
Yeah,
so for anybody out there that's struggling with acquiring new customers, we're going to dive, I think, a little deeper into this. But if you want to know how Cheryl made $24,000, acquired 11 new prepaid clients in 3 days,
the fact that
it's crazy. Comment down below, 24K in 3 days or something. Cheryl, we love you. Cheryl, share your secrets. Comment something down below here, and let us know that you're here, and so that we can get things moving forward here. So, so Cheryl, like Matt was saying, why don't you tell us a little bit more about exactly what you're doing here, and just so people can get a better understanding of what we're actually talking about.
That, Shane, are we going to talk about what we're going to, give a brief overview that we are launching something?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So for everybody that's watching right now, make sure to watch till the end, because at the end here, we're going to announce, we're going to dive a little bit deeper in a new special program that Cheryl has agreed to do. At some point, I believe we're going to do this in the third week of November, where we're going to hold another masterclass here. Cheryl is going to go ahead and dive deep into pretty
basically,
much
the details of the masterclass will come towards the end of the show.
Okay.
we'll get it at the end so we can get to Cheryl. But real quick, what's up, Chris? What's up, Arthur? These guys are live. Jose is watching from Frisco, Texas. Jake live from Houston. Tanya from Columbia, Maryland. How's it going, Tanya? Jake, where's Austin? Oh, okay. Where's Austin? Like, it's in Texas, but I see what you mean there. We need to hashtag that. My bad. Spencer, what's going on, man? You got to watch that situation earlier unfold. That was fun. Jason Schuldeis, how's it going? Alex Joy, I'm sorry. Saw that on Facebook. Yep. So Tony, how's it going? Alina, John, Joseph, Jason, how's everybody doing? Nick, what's going on? And then we got into some questions. So let's get into what you're doing first, Cheryl, and then we'll jump into some of the questions. Guys, add your questions as it goes, because we'll try and get those towards the end. But again, if you're watching live, hashtag live in the comments below. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay in the comments below. And take it away, Cheryl.
All right. Yeah, so what I'm doing, I'm basically hosting workshops. So hosting either half-day or full-day workshops where I invite real estate agents, brokers, team leaders to come and learn all about how they can use Facebook advertising to grow their business, generate and convert leads. And the way I'm structuring it is basically using Eventbrite, getting them to pay so they have some skin in the game, because I'm a believer when people don't pay, they don't pay attention, and it's easy to blow off free events. And I actually tested the free model, and the results weren't so good on a smaller scale.
Really, before we move to that, tell us about that. You ran some free events and they didn't work out well.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So I try to do everything on the cheap when I do it for the first time, just to like, proof of concept. So the first time I did anything like this, it was like a 2-hour workshop. I did it at the library because the library was free to use the space. But the thing with the library is that you can't sell there. You can't use it for commercial purposes.
Oh, really?
So it's based, at least in Brooklyn in my local library. Yeah. Yeah. So if you rent, I guess maybe if they have rooms that you can pay for, maybe you can sell, but this was all free. So they prohibit any selling. They actually, because I had the title of my workshop that it was marketing. And when I went there, the lady at the desk was like, "Oh, we don't allow multi-level marketing presentations here."
Oh,
I was like, "That's not what I'm doing, miss." But thanks anyway. So
not what I'm doing, miss.
Right.
That's great. Cheryl,
so
future reference. It's always better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Exactly.
Somebody else's case study as your own.
Yeah, right. Hashtag Zachary in the comments. So
there we go.
So I had like 14 or 15 people register for that free one at the library. One person showed up. It was like on a Thursday in the middle of the day or something, I think like 10 to 11. So the timing was terrible, but one person showed up and she stayed and I went through the presentation and it was cool. And basically my pitch, since I couldn't sell, was, a strategy session afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But she was a really new agent. She had just started and wasn't really doing anything about anything. So that didn't really turn into anything, but at least I was able to kind of like get it out the way and realize that people are interested because they registered. But
and I think what's important there that we shouldn't look over is you got it out of the way. Like you presented that. Like even if one person showed up, like you got that one presentation under your belt. And
right.
From me having a comedy background, like when I was in comedy, I would get people all the time that would come up and be like, "Hey, how do I do it? How do I do it?" And they'd ask all these questions. They'd be like, "Is this funny? Is that funny?" And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, just get on stage. Like, just go do it. Right?
Yeah.
And you went out and did it. And you were able to take that, even with one person watching, you're able to take that feedback and go into your next one better. Because I'm sure that you noticed things in your own presentation where you were like, okay, I can change this. I can change that.
Yeah, exactly. And the questions that she was asking, it was almost like a free one-on-one like coaching session for her, basically.
Yeah.
But with the questions that she asked, I was able to, tweak things and, figure out how I should explain things differently. Because I think when you're kind of like an expert in what you do, especially with all this Facebook stuff, we kind of assume that people know the things that are pretty basic to us, but they're things that are like super advanced or like even beyond comprehension to somebody whose day job is, to sell real estate or, whatever the industry might be. So really like, starting at the basic level and showing people the capabilities. So it was helpful.
Yeah, and that's something we run into in real estate where like we think everybody knows everything, right? And sometimes you run into real estate agents who do know everything or believe they know everything, and it makes it difficult. But there's still a ton of people out there who don't have a clue about this stuff. And that's who we're helping a lot of times, or the people who know about it and don't have time to do it themselves. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt because I'm totally distracted here by Matt's his career in comedy. I just keep thinking about this for a second. I'm just like, wait a minute here. So you did comedy, and
in New York, girl.
Oh wow!
I lived
down at Caroline's, or
Caroline's.
All right.
What were the ones down there? Laugh Factory was still down there when I was there.
Oh yeah, Laugh Factory. Yep.
New York, all those. Yep.
Cool.
New York Broadway Comedy Club, all those.
Nice.
So I have two questions for Matt. And sorry, Cheryl, but this is what happens when you drink 3/4 of a bottle of wine before you come to the show, right? It's like you can't focus anymore. So fortunately, we have the recordings or the replays of these, so I can go back and watch and then be embarrassed about what happened. But anyways, so my first question.
But go ahead, Shane.
My first question, Matt, is have you ever done a comedy show where only one person showed up? Because I think that'd be pretty funny. And second, Do you have any recordings that we can post in the group? Because I'm sure some of our members would just love to see your comedy shows.
I think I do have one recording, and it's sad because, I was with this group who was a very like clean humor like group where we were doing church camps and stuff like that. So they basically made me take down anything that was edgy at all, which I was clean. I would say 99.9%.
The only recording you have?
But I have a recording that I had saved unpublished. So, I'll have to find that for us. And yes, as far as people only showing, like one person showing up, there's been like open mics where there was, 2 or 3 people, right?
That's so sad.
I've done shows, where you get $20 to do the show or whatever. I mean, you don't get a lot doing comedy in New York. But anyways, especially when you're coming up. But anyways, there were like 2 a.m. shows that we would do where the tour bus from Chinatown would show up and nobody spoke English. So there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened.
Interesting.
So they don't understand your jokes.
No, they had no idea. And so it was like, well, this is really interesting.
That is pretty funny.
Well, listen, if you do find the recording, you got to post that in the group because I'm sure a lot of
people want the recording. I guess I can.
Oh, you should charge $97.
No, if people want the recording,
special discount. That's right.
Maybe if we hit like 30 viewers or something, or if maybe hashtags show us the video or something, we'll do it. But anyways, let's get back to
comedy club if you want to see Matt.
Yeah.
Hashtag comedy club. I love it. Cheryl's on her hashtag game.
I try.
But anyways.
Okay, I'm done getting distracted. Sorry, guys.
I'll bring us back on point, which is crazy.
Right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. So you did
clearly
the first one.
Been drinking enough.
It didn't. Give me time. The first one didn't go as well as you'd planned. Tell us, did you do another free one?
No, so that was the only free one that I did in that sort of format. I have done, since then I've done meetups, which are, free, and it's just kind of more of I don't know, I guess a branding thing that I was playing around with. Still at the library, still free. People would come in the evenings for an hour, and I do a short little presentation. But that was the only actual workshop that I did for free with the intention of converting people.
Yeah, these sound a lot like open mics when you're getting started.
Yeah, it's a good analogy. It is, yeah.
Bars where people are not there for comedy and stuff like that. So, but no. So, did you have another one where you had only 15 people sign up? I'd be curious on that.
No, well,
what was your smallest paid sign up?
The smallest paid sign up was the most recent one I did. So I had 9 people registered, 7 showed up. But for that one, I kind of broke.
9 people registered, 7 showed up versus your free one. 14 people registered and 1 showed up.
Exactly. Yep.
And I think there's a connection people make, and you can probably agree with this.
Yep.
When they put money into something, they're a lot more committed towards it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So even if you charge, I'd done a challenge for real estate agents that was $7, and it was I did it for $7 because the free one, we had 300 and some odd signups and 22 people show up.
Oh wow!
But when we charged just $7, our show up rate went through the roof.
Yep.
It's just crazy how people connect, even a small amount of money with value.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, it's true.
So don't give it away for free. Hashtag don't give it away for free.
Hashtag no freebies.
I like that better. Hashtag no freebies. You know what? We're going to start asking Cheryl for the hashtag.
Your hashtags, man, suck.
Because they have to be short, so you gotta,
Agree.
Hashtag we don't accept freebies for our events.
That's a good one. I like that one.
There you go. Hashtag the longest hashtag you can think of, down.
So tell me about your first event after doing the free one, because I have to admit there have been times where I've done comedy shows and hardly anybody showed up, or it was completely, a bunch of people that didn't speak the language or something. And I was a little nervous about going to the next one. So you had 1 person out of 14 show up, and you decided, hey, I'm actually going to charge people money, and I'm going to do this again.
Right. Yeah.
So for doing that.
Well, thanks. I had so like full disclosure, it's not like I haven't come up with all this on my own. So I learned the whole like event marketing system from a mentor of mine that probably some people in this group know, Gina Poole. So I've been following her methodology on, like free events and the risks of that versus paid events and how they're more beneficial. So so after I got the free one out of the way, then I was like, all right, now I'm really ready. I'll do the paid one. So for that one, I tested a lot of different things. I tested the price range. So I sold tickets. Yeah.
Before we go there,
Uh-huh.
do you regret doing the free one first or not?
No, because it was good practice.
Okay.
I put the presentation together and I got all that stuff out of the way, and it was good practice. So.
Okay, so hashtag freebies.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Arthur hashtagged, I can't stand tire kickers and won't give away for free no matter what any of you, and it just keeps going on and on. I think Arthur wins the prize for the longest hashtag ever. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, and the free one didn't cost me anything really, except a little bit of my time. The room was free. I didn't like order food or anything like that, so it was a good practice run.
Okay, good. So tell us about the first one.
Yeah, so the first paid event that I did, I sold, I want to say like 22 or so tickets. I had about 18 people in the room, including a current client that I had come and like say nice things about me, and so other people knew that I wasn't a scam.
Real quick, the ones that didn't come up, did they ask for a refund?
No.
Okay, cool. Just side note.
Yeah, no, they didn't show up, didn't ask for a refund. I even followed up with them afterwards, so but I didn't hear back from them. But I sent everybody the presentation afterwards, so at least they got something. So
yeah. And what did you charge for that one?
So for that one, I did early bird tiered pricing. So the tickets started at $97. Then they went up $100 every couple of weeks. So like $97, $197, $297. And I sold tickets at each of those price points, but it kind of like stalled out halfway through when I had the room about halfway through. So then I started doing like a ridiculous discount and discounting them down to $47, and the rest of them just kind of like flew off the shelf after that. So yeah. $47 to $297, and people bought at like all stages in between that range.
So what was your revenue and like your total revenue for that? Like not your total revenue, but your ticket revenue for that event.
That one was, I want to say it was around $1,200 or so, something like that.
So that's not bad. $1,200 for a day's worth of work.
Yeah.
So bad. Yeah, so $1,200. You got an event. You got in front of people. You were, you were able to at least talk to people and start conversations. Yeah. But from that one event that you made $1,200 at, you actually signed up some clients as well.
Yeah. So I signed up 5 clients. Yeah. So yeah,
let's get into the event without us interrupting anymore.
No, it's okay.
Matt, shut up, Matt.
Hey, would you just mute me for a little bit?
You talk too much.
Interrupt. It helps keep me on track so I don't ramble. But yeah, so I signed up 5 clients at $500 a month for 3 months for each client, and that was the deal. I was testing like a lower price offer because I wanted to make sure it worked and make sure I sold some and make it like basically you're ridiculous if you don't buy this, because I showed them a ton of stuff, threw a ton of bonuses in there, and they got way more than $500 worth of value for what they were paying. So, and I use the ROI calculator too, Shane, to basically show people the fact that it's not, Facebook isn't a magic button. It's like a long-term game, and you have to nurture and cultivate, and it takes a little while to build up your database so you can start converting leads. And you might not get anything month 1, 2, or even 3, but then when the leads start converting, it's like one deal pays for the whole system. So that was basically my illustration to them. Like, one commission, average price point in New York City is like $1.2 million. That's not what everybody's doing in real estate sales, but that's the average because we have so many ridiculously priced properties. One deal.
There was no way I was renting my own place.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I paid, I think, $1,137 with utilities for a single room in a 3-bedroom apartment.
Oh, that's a lot. Where were you? What part of town were you in?
I was 136 in Broadway, so like west side of Harlem.
Yeah. Yep. I know the area.
Yeah.
That area is booming too. It's crazy.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. We had well, there was a lot of cool stuff, but anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways. So you sold how many clients? No. I think we missed it. Like, how many clients actually signed up with you? Shane.
5. Yeah.
Hang on 1 second, Shane.
I had 5 clients sign up at that event on that day. Yeah.
So they all paid you $1,500.
So they all paid the first month on that day, and I allowed them to apply their registration fee to their first month. So it's basically their first month minus, $97 or whatever. And then they were billed recurring billing, every 30 days for 2 months after that. And then if they want to continue, it's the same price. I tell them, I'll never increase the price if you want to continue. And if you don't, then, that's fine too.
How many continued out of the first 5?
So far, they're all still with me. And that event was in July, the first one. So just a couple months out from it, but
okay, so
and also
you're on month 4 with these guys, and they're still paying.
Yeah, so some of them were kind of late in starting their campaign. So, like, it was the summertime, so some of them went on vacation, and they're like, "Can we start in September?" So there was a little bit of a delay with some of them, but yeah. So none of them have canceled or said they want their money back, and we're generating leads for all of them. So
yeah,
so they're pretty happy.
Curious on a side note, what are you generating leads for in New York City?
Yeah, so it ranges. And they're in different parts of New York City. So some are in Queens, some are in Manhattan. The lowest cost per lead, I actually was getting leads for like $1 and change in Harlem for an agent's listing. Yeah. And up to like sometimes like 14 or $15 per lead. So not awesome, but not terrible. It's like, and those ads have like a 10 relevance score and like they perform really well. It's just like for whatever reason, the cost is a little bit higher in some of those areas. So
that always makes me tear up.
Yeah.
That always makes me tear up though, when it's like a 10 relevancy score and your cost is, $8 a lead. You're like, come on.
Yeah, I know. I feel your pain.
So, no, but that's awesome. So you signed up 5 people. Mm-hmm. Well, Shane, what did you want to say? Because you wanted me to shut up. So did you? No, just kidding.
Oh, I don't remember.
No worries.
You're so distracting, Matt.
Shane, you gotta drink something that doesn't make you so sleepy.
No, I'm not sleepy at all. I'm
4 Locos.
Well, I was up till 4:30, right? So you remember that.
Fair enough.
It's working hard, watching Shark Tank with the kid.
That's right. You've got a sick kid right now, right?
She's fine. It was the craziest thing. It was like vomiting for 6 hours, and that's it. And it stopped. And then she was fine. And here she was, like, we're having a tea party at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's just like, just doesn't want to go to bed. Anyways, it was crazy.
Maybe it was like a Halloween prank she was playing on you or something.
I know, man. She was like, if that was a Halloween prank, I'm not very happy about it because I did a whole lot of cleaning. Definitely. And I didn't get my candy. That's the one thing about being a father, right? You get to steal your kids' candy. And every, like, the past, and this is great. So I have 2 adult kids, an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old. I haven't been able to steal their candy.
What, did you have kids when you were like 7? I'm just kidding. Shane looks young.
So I haven't been able to steal my kids' candy for a very long time. And this was one of these years where, she's a little bit bigger. So my 3rd child now, who's a year, she's like a year and like 10 months old or 9 months old. And so, she's good and strong. She can go to a lot of houses, collect a lot of candy. The best thing about this age, though, is she can't eat any of it. So it's perfect. So I look forward to this, to this day every year. And it didn't happen, so I'm a little sad about
great.
it.
What's funny? My niece actually, she's 5, and she brought one of her baby dolls along in a stroller. And every house she went to, she would say, "Can I have one for my baby as well?"
For my favorites.
I was like, that's so genius. Oh my gosh, I'm getting my kids strollers and a little baby doll next year, so I can.
That is smart. That's a smart strategy.
Right? She's
awesome.
gonna be a marketer.
There you go.
So anyway,
listen. Let me, Matt. Just to recap, 3 new clients, $1,200 in revenue for your first paid event, which is awesome. A lot of people out there
for that one.
Sorry, 5 new clients?
Yeah, for the first one, 5. Yeah,
5 new clients, so $2,500.
Okay.
That's prepaid, $2,500 at the event. So basically, you made almost $4,000 for one day's worth of work. Signed up 5 new clients, which I think is amazing.
But it's month 4. They're still here. That's $10K that she earned from that one day.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's insane. I love this method.
Yeah, it's great.
Scattershot method.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know. So that was your first event. Your second event, I think you actually you did almost better on the ticket sales. You signed more clients on that one, except I think you had a couple fakers on that second event.
Yeah, I know. So annoying. So
but whatever. You still. I mean, the fact that you signed 6 clients at your second event, because I think that's what you said, right?
Yeah. So I signed 6, and then I realized, like, at the end of the day, that 3 of them hadn't, like, put their credit card information on the paper, and, like, they wanted to. I don't know. They wanted to start later. They wanted to talk about it, and of course, that never happened. So I had 3 solid people who signed up. So started with 6, ended up with 3. But I charged twice as much, so I made more money on the second.
So your first event, you charged $500.
Yep.
And then you figured, hey, why not? I'm just going to test it out and see if I can get twice as much.
Mm-hmm.
And so you signed 6 clients, actually three clients at $1,000 instead. So you made $3,000 plus your ticket sales. You sold how many tickets you sold at that one?
That one we had a bigger room, so I sold 32 tickets. I think.
Crazy.
28 people showed up. So
yeah,
pretty good.
What's the price per ticket on that one?
That one they were all $47. So I was able to sell them all really quickly. Like the first week, I had sold like 7 of them, and
half
all
day or whole day, or
the second one was half day also, and using pretty much strictly cold email. I sold one on an ad and then turned it off because I didn't want to lose money on ads. And then, so.
That's crazy. So
it's almost $5,000 in one day.
And what hours did you run this?
So the half day, I did 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. both times.
Okay. And were you offering continued education credits on this?
No, but that's interesting. I've been talking to one of my clients about that. He's actually a title guy, and his wife has a team. So I do leads for basically his wife's team, and he was basically talking about how it probably makes sense for me to, I guess, get certified. I don't know the process. I think it's a lengthy one from the little bit that I know about it. But yeah, I have thought about doing that, but I'm not certified for the CE stuff.
Yeah. I just took 18 hours of Con Ed this past week.
Oh wow!
For my license.
Yep.
And I mean, I took one on real estate marketing online, and I'm like taking this class, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like,
was it terrible?
We're teaching people to do this stuff. Like, this is what we're teaching as real. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, I if it wasn't for the fact that I got credit for it, I probably would have asked for my money back. It was so bad.
I believe it. Honestly, guys, like I've had multiple people tell me multiple times, they're like, nobody is teaching this stuff when they come to my workshops. One of the free meetups that I did, one guy actually drove 2 hours in rush hour traffic to come to that meetup because he said, like, nobody else is teaching this. Him and his wife are both realtors and teachers, and he wanted to come and learn. And he actually ended up converting and coming to one of my paid workshops after that. So, and then another guy who owns a team, he was like, I see Facebook stuff, but there's nothing specific for real estate out there. So in terms of especially like live events and workshops, that sort of thing, it's really scarce in the real estate industry. So there's a ton of opportunity if you know what you're doing and, can teach people.
And a lot of people, like most people are not going to buy online courses. The real estate industry as a whole, the average age of an agent is 55 years old. Like those
that's true.
I shouldn't say those people don't buy online courses, but they're used to in-person training is what
Right.
it is, right?
Yeah, the whole CE model and lunch and learns and that sort of thing.
Well, exactly. Like you're going to have a lunch and learn every month at your office most of the time if you have a good office. Like if your office isn't giving you a lunch and learn once a month so that you're getting free lunch when you come in to learn something, check out other offices.
Remind me about that too. I can talk about the lunch and learns I've started to do if you guys want me to talk about that later too.
Oh yeah, I do want to get into that.
Hey Matt, sorry,
from
Matt.
It's like you're getting scolded, like you're his mom or something.
No, not at all. Something's messed up with your mic.
Is it?
I think so.
Is all right. Let's ask.
You might want to mute it.
Something messed up with my mic.
I can hear you. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so you guys don't hear that like weird? Like every time he starts to talk, it goes a little bit like I don't know. There's a lot of background
staticky?
noise. Yeah. Can you hear that as well?
Mm-mm.
I was wondering.
I hear a motorcycle outside my window, but that's because I live in Brooklyn.
No, it's every time Matt talks.
That's funny. Well, it goes a little here, and I'm outside. Remember, so like that's the front porch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna get cold soon. It's gonna start snowing.
Getting
You have to
cold.
wear
I had to,
too.
like layer up. I was like, oh my gosh, but I don't want to do this inside because
Time to finish that office.
I know, right?
Oh, nice.
But anyway, so this guy, he drove 2 hours in rush hour traffic, so he must have gone from like 42nd Street to 32nd Street, right?
No, he actually drove over from Westchester. I don't know if you know Westchester County, to Brooklyn. So yeah, and then he came back when I did my last workshop in Jersey City. He came to that one too.
Okay, that's awesome. You went all the way over there, huh?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Testing a new market. Yeah,
they still buy. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
But so that was your second event. We have a third event to get to.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So the third event. So I didn't give myself as much time to market the third event. So the third event was a little less than 30 days. I usually give myself like 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like I said, I'm doing the cheap method of marketing with cold email. So, but I think probably even if you're running ads, Mr. Cluster, who is your previous guest, would probably recommend that same amount of time, even if you're doing, ads. So, right. I know he's the event, Facebook event guy. So, yeah. So it was a full day. So it was a little bit different. It was a full day. It was in New Jersey, Jersey City. Charged folks $97 for the full day, lunch included, and had 9 people, actually 10 people register. One person said they couldn't make it like 2 days before and asked for a refund and was like, let me know when you're doing it again. And I'm like, here's your refund. Yeah, this is the only refund. It's the only refund.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So she got a refund. 9 people registered, 7 showed up. And I kind of shot myself on the foot because I raised my prices again. And I think I raised them too high for the folks that were in the room. Mm-hmm. Because there's a little bit of a different price point where I was. And the folks that attended weren't doing a ton of deals a month. Okay. So, and I probably should have investigated that a little more and taken that into account. But I raised my price by another $500, so basically $1,497 or $1,500, and nobody bought at all. So I was like, oh man, this sucks. So I was voxing Gina, nobody bought. What do I do? So she said, go back to everybody. Cut the price in half and tell them. So it was a Thursday. So she's like, go back to everybody tomorrow, Friday. Tell them they have till Monday. And you'll give them, a special discount, $800 if they sign up by Monday.
Well, what did you?
What did I charge for the services or for the registration? So $1,500. I upped it. Okay. Yeah, upped it to $1,500.
So you might have actually a sweet spot there, right? Like it may be $1,500 might be too much for a lot of people, especially at an event. 500 may be, not enough for. So it might be interesting to, like, as you do more and more of these events, actually try the different price points to see. Okay, if I do $795 or $895 or $995, I get more people signing up at those, at those different price points, right? It might be interesting to test that out. But
and then I got one person signed up when I slashed the price. So
okay,
so it wasn't a total loss. I got one out of it and made a little bit of money on that one. But definitely priced it too high to begin with.
Well, and if you would have sold 20 to 30 tickets, then it would have been worth it anyways.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
smaller room too.
Yeah. I mean, if you can make, again, I think it's sort of that, trying to figure out, okay, well, what's sort of that sweet spot so that I can get, 20 to 30 people, because that makes it worth my while to do a half day or full day event, make $2,500 to $3,500. And so even if I don't sign any clients, it's still worth it for me to do these because, I just banked, $3,000 for a day's of, a half day event or a 1 day event.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. I agree.
Yeah. And then, obviously figure out what the pricing needs to be so that you can maximize the amount of people you can sign up, on your services as well. So but that's still really cool. I mean, you made $25,000 or almost $25,000. You signed 11 new clients. Most people have a hard time signing that many clients. The events are fun. I know that, from just talking to you, I know that you enjoy doing them. I know I enjoy doing them. It's fun talking to people and getting out there, meeting with people. And you still have that opportunity to continue to nurture those people if you want. All those people that came to your events are all people that know you. You're getting amazing testimonials from everybody. I've watched your videos and stuff like that, and all the testimonials you're getting. Of course.
Wait, where are we getting the testimonials? We'll
at the event. At the event.
Yeah. Okay. We can save that. Yeah.
So, I think there's a lot of, even if you don't sign a client, I think there's a ton of upside to these events. Tons and tons, right? And then you can do, while it's not like they're really hard to put together. I mean, it's
it just takes a little bit of, planning and setting up some systems. So with the cold email, I basically set it up and it runs by itself. So and then when people respond, then I send them the info and they sign up. So once you kind of get all the planning out of the way, it's and then once you do it one time, you have the blueprint and you can just kind of, rinse and repeat. So it makes it easier.
Makes sense.
What would you how long did it take you to put the first one together?
The first one, I want to say I gave myself 6 weeks, maybe 6 or 7 weeks.
How much effort do you think you put into that?
Like
6 weeks full time?
She's got to say everything she has, right?
What? I'm just curious, how many?
24 hours. So the first time I didn't leverage my time wisely. I was manually scraping emails. I was like, there's got to be a better way. So I went on Upwork and found someone who could, write those scraping software or whatever. And the next time I went on Upwork and had somebody write scraping software. So there was a lot of upfront kind of grunt work in getting those emails the first time. So that was probably the most time intensive. But I wrote the emails, put them into the email, into quick mail for the cold email campaigns. And then when people would respond, to the cold email that I'd send, that's when I would send them more information and the information with the link so they could register. And then I had an appointment setter following up and doing that work. So calling people who I'd emailed. I probably didn't spend more than maybe 30 minutes to an hour a day just responding to people when they'd get the email.
Wow.
After I had the whole system set up for the marketing. Put a fair amount of time into the presentation and putting that together. I think the first time it ended up being about 100 slides or something like that. So that took a little while to put together, maybe a few hours. Yeah, not all super content heavy slides, but kind of a mix between
just keep you on track while you're doing.
Yeah. They're more talking points, and we'd stop and do Q&A and that sort of thing. But probably the most time intensive things, getting the emails the first time because I was a knucklehead and didn't leverage technology, and then putting the presentation together. That's probably
what was the most surprising thing to you about this? And again, if you guys are watching live, #live in the comments below. If you're watching replay, #replay in the comments below. I'm still getting over a cold, but whatever.
You should probably be inside there, Matt.
Nah.
You quit smoking.
That too.
It's all right. We're dedicated here at Whiskey Thursday.
I see. Most
Matt
surprising.
only smokes on Whiskey Thursdays. You know that, right? Like he literally like forces himself to smoke for Whiskey Thursdays. He's that dedicated to this show.
If you're gonna have whiskey, you should have a cigar. That's all I'm saying. And yeah, it's a Black and Mild. It's not like one of those like real cigars. No, nope. No, thank you. But anyways, no. But for real, what was the thing that surprised you the most about this? Like, what caught you off guard when you were doing these?
Like in a bad way or a good way? Surprise.
Both. Let's do a good way and a bad way.
Okay. I guess I'll start with the bad way. So the bad way, I would say sometimes you get people who are a little like off and like a little bit loony. So like I had everybody sign a video release form, and like one person was like so up in arms because there was no opt-out option and all kinds. Like she was just like really hesitant to sign the video release form. I'm like, okay, like I'll take it back from you. You don't have to sign it. So
yeah, if you're a WITSEC, it's cool. We'll blur you out.
Like it's fine. Like whatever. He's making such a big deal. So probably just being prepared to deal with eccentric personalities. Everybody wasn't like that. It's usually kind of just always one in the bunch. So like just being prepared to like let it kind of just roll off your back and not get like too into it.
Oh man.
Does that mean we have to blur out all of our guests on these lives?
Yeah, should we be
if we're
like
throwing them up on YouTube? Should we be doing that?
Do you consent to this video?
I give my verbal consent on this video.
There we go.
Okay, good. Thank you. So we got one. Now we got to go back to everybody else and start blurring the heads out.
Yeah, we got to get people to agree to it before they start drinking, and then keep them drinking. That's the key.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good way to do it. Yeah.
We'll get these secrets.
Yeah.
No. So, what was something that surprised you in a good way or caught you off guard?
In a good way, I would just say the fact that people had no idea what I was talking about. And that probably sounds like counterintuitive that's a good thing, but like the amount of just like deer in headlights looks that I was getting, and just like I could tell that it was making like that I was giving them a lot of value because they had no idea what I was talking about, but they were still like so interested to the point of asking questions and wanting to learn more and that sort of thing. And the feedback that they gave me while they were there, they're like, "Oh, this was great. I haven't, been to a workshop like this. I didn't know you could do all these things with Facebook." So I was just surprised at, I guess I assumed their baseline knowledge was more than what it was. So I was surprised that people knew so little about, like I said before, what I thought was just kind of like basic stuff. It was like a foreign language to most of the people in the room.
Hashtag. What would you say? What should we do for hashtag foreign language? Hashtag it was a foreign language. Cheryl, give us that hashtag. What's a better hashtag? Because people are going to struggle writing foreign if they're drinking like we are.
Right. That is true. That is true. Let's say hashtag.
I don't even know what we're hashtagging
strange
for.
To me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hashtag strange to me.
Yeah.
Guys, because that's huge. I think that's huge. What you just said there is the fact that so many people had no idea that this stuff was possible, right? Like they're taking the con ed like I just took this week and thinking, okay, that's what real estate marketing online looks like. And it's like, no, that's not what it looks like. Go join LinkedIn groups and join Pinterest boards and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, you're telling people how to basically use different pieces of social networks, but you're not telling them how to use it for real estate.
Right. Or how to generate business. I think so many agents feel like, oh, I post stuff on my business page, so that's Facebook marketing. Like number one, nobody sees anything on your business page anymore thanks to the algorithm change that Facebook did, unless you're running ads to that content. So,
I've had people say that when I'm pitching them, and they're like, actually, we make our own content and put it up there each week. And I'm like, oh, you put a post up each week? And they're like, yeah, we put a post up each week. And I'm like, okay. All right. You didn't watch the video before this meeting, did you?
Yeah. Or they say, oh, I boosted a post, but I didn't get anything. I'm like, really? I'm shocked you didn't get any business from boosting a post. So
We got
yeah.
a bunch of clicks, but I don't know what that means.
Right.
Or I've seen people post links and boost them, and they were links to like realtor.com or zillow.com articles.
Oh
And you're
wow.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would do
Oh,
that.
but they do. But they do because they think they're adding value to a lot of people by boosting that.
hmm Yeah, there's a ton of misinformation out there too, and I think that's what helps when you know what you're talking about, because you can kind of like put people on the right track and they're not wasting their time doing stuff that's never really gonna yield any sort of measurable return.
Well, and that was a question that came up earlier was, how do you deal with these other companies, right, that are offering Facebook lead gen for $300 a month or something like that? I'm like, guys, like this is a website company offering Facebook lead gen. Like they're just trying to raise their value per customer. They're not trying to raise the value for the customer.
Yeah, it's true.
Because people don't know what they're getting into. They just assume that these other companies that are like, yeah, we'll do your Facebook marketing for $300 a month. Like $300, like how far is that going? Because they're taking a piece of it.
Right, yeah.
And even if they say $300 plus ad spend, like how much time can they really spend doing that? Chances are they have some sort of little system, or they have virtual assistants doing it, but they don't have people dedicated. Not like us. Like hiring a specialist is so much more valuable. I mean, I guess that's a better question. Were there any objections you ran into during these presentations?
No, not that. Yeah, none that I can remember. It's mostly just questions and, how do I do this, or, what if this sort of thing. But no real objections. It was more so they, like, in the beginning of the presentation, I put up a picture of it's a Family Guy photo of like a fire hose, like Peter Griffin getting the fire hose in the face. So I tell them, you'll probably feel like this, at some point or most points during the day. And they all invariably, every time somebody will bring that up, like when I pause for questions, they're like, yeah, that fire hose picture was a good analogy. So it's almost like they don't even, even if they had objections, like they probably don't even know what to object to yet, because they're still just like processing and trying to, absorb and translate the information.
So give us as marketers I don't know, an example of like how complicated is your presentation when it comes to Facebook ads? Like that somebody would feel like it's a fire hose being fed to them, which I imagine a lot of people, if you just got into the basics, would feel that way. But how complicated does your president get that people feel that way?
Yeah, no, good question. So it's really not super complicated in my opinion. So I basically kind of start with, the landscape, like what is Facebook and why it's important, that sort of thing. Basically, I tell them, how not to get their ad account banned. I give big mistakes that people make when they're doing real estate marketing, things not to do. I show them some, like proven ad copy and proven creative and, campaigns that I've run that worked, and screenshots of client campaigns and that sort of thing.
And they get copies of that when they leave?
Yeah, so I give everybody a copy of the presentation.
Which is extremely, extremely valuable. I think people underestimate the value of a working campaign.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's some more advanced stuff, like I have some messenger bot stuff in there. So we started putting in like a demo of a client messenger bot that I created and showing them the capabilities with messenger marketing. So
what's the response to that when people see the messenger bot?
Yeah, it's like, so it's funny. So I put up the flow first because, like in ManyChat, the flow looks like spaghetti basically. And they're kind of like, what is that? And then I actually say, well, all of this basically translates into this. And I play them a video. It's a screen recording I did on my phone of going through a bot sequence that book an appointment using Calendly. So it's essentially, lead to appointment, and a lead that's more highly engaged, and somebody who's more likely to respond to you, and you're already having a conversation with this person before you even step into the conversation. So I think they found a lot of value in that kind of stuff. But that's probably the most advanced stuff that we did.
Hey, we've got a ton of questions here. Do we want to go through some of these before?
No, I've still got questions.
Well, listen, we're not going to go all night here. So,
all right.
I'm sure we can message Cheryl directly here. We got some people waiting here for some answers. Matt,
Yeah.
you're hogging the entire show here.
Sure,
Calm
you'll have
down.
to stick around for the after show because I have some questions.
All right, no problem.
You don't. What do you need the answers to these questions for? Why don't you just go out there and do it yourself?
Well, then what would be the point of Whiskey Thursdays, right? It's all about the after show.
There you go. Is the after show broadcast anywhere?
The after show is not broadcast. That is private. There is entries sold, but it's I don't know what, $17,000 a minute or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, we actually we did one once, and we just we end up finishing our bottles at the end in the after party. So. But I watched the recording of the after party because we were on. So we go from this, and typically this cancels out. Then we go into Zoom, and then I was watching the replays of Zoom, and it was just crazy. Like we were going through.
We're like,
multiple ad No, it wasn't that bad, but we were going through multiple ad campaigns and figuring out new strategies for different things, and just some really man. I was watching this, and I'm thinking, holy, there is more value in the after party because we're just talking about whatever, and we're going through, all of our ad campaigns and client campaigns and things like that. But that was only that one time. It never happened again because the after party now sometimes it just gets kind of out of hand. The last one
but yeah, it has also gotten out of hand a few times.
but they're always a lot of fun. So.
Either way, the bottom of the bottle is definitely recognized.
That's right. And Matt can go on. If anybody wants to jump into the after party, Matt will go on all night long. Like this guy, yeah. It's like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm like, okay, Matt, I gotta go to bed. I'm falling asleep here, and he's just talking away.
Oh, dude, I just love what we do, so I can't. It's hard. It's hard for me to stop.
Calm down.
No, but
so let's get some answers. Yeah, let's go through some of these questions here and get some answers out.
I just wanted to say, let's get into the questions because.
I don't even know where we're at in terms of questions here. Let me. I don't think
we've answered any of them. So Shane,
I'm going to go all the way at the bottom. Okay, so I think we covered your. Arthur was asking about how much are you charging for your events. And I think we covered that. So anywhere between 47 to.
Yeah. So for the half day, I found the sweet spot that really got the tickets to sell easily was $47 for the half day. And then for the full day, I charge $97.
Okay.
So 47 for a half day, 97 for the full day. And then have you found any success in terms of the early bird access and then scaling that up?
So extending the early bird pricing for longer, you mean? Or how do you mean?
No, but so you start with an early bird pricing model, right?
Yeah, so the first time I did early bird, and so I did early birds actually starting at 97, going up to 297 the first time, and then the second time I decided I just wanted to make it easy and sell them out faster, so I just slashed the price to 47 for the half day the second time. Just to easier to fill, and I got more people in the room. Yeah. So.
And there's value to that, right? The more people you get into the room, the more excitement you get that sort of social proof as well.
Right.
And then you got more people that you can pitch to, right? So it's probably beneficial to have as many people inside of that training or that presentation as possible, right?
Yeah, it helps. I mean, you can definitely do it with smaller numbers. You don't have to have 50 people in the room, but also depends on what your close rate is. So if you're kind of just starting out, you have to figure out what that is, and if you want to find a certain number of clients, then you have to figure out how many people you need in the room.
Yeah,
to do that. So
that makes sense.
So Tanya's asking, Cheryl. You mentioned some of the tools that Cheryl mentioned the tools she used again. Oh, I don't know what.
Can we get to your question, Chris, which is what is your secret? And we're just going to keep going through the other questions because I'm hoping that'll answer it for you.
Okay.
Okay, hang on.
The tools that you used again. I believe it was it Quick Mail?
Yeah, QuickMail was the cold email software that I used.
Okay.
And and then I just had somebody scrape emails. I hired somebody from Upwork to scrape emails.
Okay, and you hired on Upwork. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He was awesome. I can drop his link in the group if you guys want that, but he's super affordable and does a great job.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think there's Upwork, and I think Fiverr is the other one. Fiverr is what I've personally used to do email scraping.
Okay.
So I think both of those work.
Other things. Yep.
What's that?
I've used Fiverr too. Just I haven't used them for email scraping, but yeah, they're good too. It's a good platform.
Cheaper.
Oh yes.
It is usually cheaper.
I think like Fiverr has become like 100 or whatever. Like so many of the services start at way above $5, or $5 is like nothing, and then the real offer is like $500.
There's nothing in there for $5.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I actually had a Fiverr gig for a while where I would like choose somebody out for no reason.
Did people buy that?
I think I sold one or two. I can't remember. I don't remember if I sold more than one, but I thought it was one or two. And it was just absolutely stupid. It was just stupid. It was so stupid. I couldn't believe it actually sold. And then I called somebody out on some stupid thing, and it was like wearing something weird to their birthday party or something. It was like, all right, whatever. And this is back when I was doing comedy like 7 years ago. So it was ridiculous. But I have hired people from Fiverr who would like be absolutely complete creeps and send videos to my friends because I thought that was amazing.
Oh.
That's like the sickest thing I've ever heard. That's messed up.
I would give them all the details, and they would be like, Donnie, I love it when you longboard to work.
Oh, man.
It was so weird. But anyways, Fiverr is if you want email scraping or weird stuff.
If you want weird stuff, just call Matt.
I'll find it for you. We'll sit on the phone till 1:30 talking about it.
Yeah. So Felix asked, what points are important when you're closing realtor deals? And so I'm going to answer that. That's part of the secret here. And we're gonna cover that in a little bit. I think that's a big part of what Cheryl's been doing in these events. And a bit, anyways, I want to go into it too much. I'm going to cover that in a bit here. So let me move on. Okay. Okay. What did you charge for the event? We covered that. Question from Chris. Nick says this recording is funny as fuck. So here's the crazy thing. I had no idea. So, okay, listen.
Nick's a friend of mine, so thank you, Nick.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. Nick is a killer agent in Southeast Michigan. So I'm old, right? And like the acronyms and stuff. Like I don't like I used the internet when there was dial-up modems. Like that's So did I.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. So maybe I'm not that old, but I think I got 10 years on you guys. But I was always like, what the hell is AF? What does that fucking mean?
They mean
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Abercrombie and Fitch. I love it.
So anyways, it took a little while for me to figure out that AF was, a bad word. So how much did you charge for the half day versus the full day event? We already talked about that. So $47 for the half day, $97 for the full day event.
Yep.
And honestly, I think that's a crazy deal. Like a full day event on Facebook. I'd be really interested to like see if you could actually pitch that at a higher cost. Now you're doing this to a cold audience, so that might be why.
Yeah.
But
I've actually thought about doing a higher price point and actually making it sort of like a done with you workshop. So like charging more, like maybe $1,000 for the day, and then but they leave with an actual working, campaign sort of thing. So I haven't tested that yet, but I like to probably in the new year start experimenting with that model and see how that goes. I'm sure it'll take a longer to sell and it'll probably be a little bit more difficult to sell because it's a higher price point, but I think it's worth a shot because then you get the revenue, but you don't have the client fulfillment afterwards. So it's just kind of like a good revenue boost for a 1 day sort of thing.
And maybe that's okay.
And then I guess I could upsell like ongoing maintenance, maybe like
exactly
offer a certain amount of like a weekly or monthly call or whatever to get help.
Right.
After the campaign's already built. So
yeah, no, good strategy for sure. Let's see if we get any more questions here. Tony was asking, so $500 in New York City is a low entry point, but what for a smaller market would it be? Same? And then he's asking if you're selling for seller leads too. So I guess I could answer that question. I think I think $500 is a very, very low entry point, but I think part of it's you were also trying to test out what you could get away with from the event, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
I'd agree. And I think, I know real estate values in New York are ridiculous compared to most parts of the country and the world, but at the same time, if you have an agent who's doing a couple deals a month, I feel like they should be able to afford, $500 to $1,000 in marketing costs. Agents are doing direct mail. I know brokers spending $4,000 a month on Zillow, and there are agents who spend, 5 figures a month on Zillow. So it's like, I think there's the misnomer that agents are broke, like all agents are broke.
I just spoke to an agent they're spending close to $400,000 a year on Zillow. It's insane.
Yeah. And it's crazy. And they don't own those leads. If they don't pick them up in a certain amount of time, it goes to the next person. The leads get recycled over and over again.
Yeah.
So, and they have no qualms like spending that much money and signing up for like a year, 18-month commitments too. Like they can't get out of when they're not converting any leads. So I'd say like find those agents because they have money. Not all, most of them, I wouldn't say most of them don't, but there are a lot of broke agents, but there are a lot of agents who are doing really well and understand that they need to invest in marketing to grow their business.
Yeah.
So Sonia here is asking, do you teach them how to set up the ad funnel and bot right there, or do you just talk about how it works?
Yeah, so so there's no step-by-step instructions really. There are in some areas, like we'll go into the ads manager and kind of show people what things are, but it's more of like an overview and sort of like laying the groundwork so that they understand how all the pieces work together basically. And then the ads, like we're not actually building live ads, but in the upsell, basically, if they want the done for you service, then I tell them, you can get buyer campaign, seller campaign, open house campaign, whatever. Like I list out basically, the basic different types of campaigns that they would want to or use. And, they get all that for the flat fee or the flat monthly fee. And then the ad spend is, of course, up to them.
Right.
But I give them a recommendation of like at least $300 to $500 a month for a solo agent. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Nate's asking, what was so basically what do you cover in the half-day event? Like what is that? I obviously don't go through the entire presentation, but what are you covering in that half-day event?
Yeah, so in the half-day, it's we start with basically background on what is Facebook and what the opportunity is. The fact that I think it's like 92% of people are starting their home buying or selling process online, and that's where the attention is. And then we go into things like how not to get your account banned, the big mistakes that people make, and then I talk about why boosting is not why. Like I ask people like who's run a Facebook ad, and a few people raise their hands. I'll say keep your hand up if that ad was not a boost, and like all the hands go down. So I basically talk about boosting posts and why it's not going to get you business. And, it's fine if you just want, a bunch of random people to see your stuff, but it's not going to result in anything. So we talk about that.
The method you use there, though, the way that you present that is genius. We'll talk about that more in the masterclass, but like from a background of being on stage, like that's genius. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to get audience participation in as much as I can. And and then I show them some like proven campaigns, proven, copy, examples of creative images, like buyer seller guides, how to structure your different campaigns in terms of, creating essentially like a network of campaigns. Like, one campaign isn't going to do it. You need to have, build up to, have multiple campaigns going. And then I talk about follow-up, a lot, and how it's almost more important than getting the lead. And that's where a lot of agents fall short. So the whole basically workshop is basically kind of pre-framing them to be a client and managing and setting expectations. Like, you're not going to get all your money back in the first 30 days. Close anything in the first 30 days. But if you stick with it over time, and that's why I love your ROI calculator, Shane, I show them, at a price point of $1.2 million in this market, you close one deal and you can pay for this for the next 10 years plus. So
hashtag ROI calculator.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting it.
No. You need to sell that thing. You need to sell that calculator. It is so, I don't care if you sell it for $1,000, dude. That thing is so legit when you're pitching clients.
Yeah, it's perfect because now they're not on your back like, oh, I didn't close anything and it's month 2. And I'm like, well, and that's the other thing. I can always refer back to the workshop. I'm like, remember in the workshop when I said this and that? And I've done that too. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay.
If you ask Austin for his mortgage ads, you'll get the same answer as Shane when he talks about his ROI calculator.
my ROI calculator. It's not a secret. It's just the ROI calculator is it's exclusive to me and my clients when I use it, and then exclusive to the students that were part of my beta program. And I'm so happy that Cheryl has found some use for it, because I've always thought it was amazing to pitch clients with. It's visual. You can see exactly how much people are going to be spending, what the ROI is, and it really lays out a plan for them, so that they know what to expect in 12 months. And part of the biggest reason why I built the ROI calculator was to set the right expectations. And, and that's always been a big struggle for real estate agents and for marketers, is to set real expectations. And the ROI calculator does that for you. So I'm actually curious, and this is more of on a personal note here. So for people that don't know, that are still watching, actually, if you're still watching, like it's been about an hour and 20 minutes or so. Hashtag trooper down below if you're still watching. Usually when we go past
my wife is watching. Hey, babe.
So
she goes to, and that's why I have to check on the kids, is because she actually goes to a karaoke night with her friends on Thursday night.
Is that what you're doing when you're running back and forth? I thought you were like having bladder problems.
No, I go and I sit at like the bottom of the stairs and just wait for 30 seconds to make sure everything's good. So,
so Cheryl, I'm curious to know.
What's up, Joe? Joe and Nick are both watching. What's going on, guys?
Awesome, guys.
Awesome. Watching. Rajesh is watching. Way to go, you guys. Awesome that you're here.
Really appreciate it.
Sorry, I'm just going to keep going as long as people are saying they're here. No, I'm just kidding.
So I'm curious to know, and again, like I said, this is more on a personal level. So you're part of my student beta program, and there was a lot of like resources in there. Have you found a lot of use for the resources that we were providing? So the email drips, text stuff, actually all the follow-up stuff, like the scripts,
the
all that stuff
that's calculator.
Yeah, like all those. That's right. You were on that live with the turnover calculator. Are you finding all those things useful for your presentations, and are you using that kind of stuff inside of those presentations?
Yeah, so I talk a lot about follow-up and, the fact that they need to do it. And then actually, as part of what I offer in the service is your 180-day email drip campaign. So I don't tell them it's 180 days because, the initial thing is 3 months. And if they cancel, then they don't get the rest of the days.
Course,
but
well, and that's like
automated, database building and automated lead nurturing. So you don't have to go and send manual emails. So that's been super helpful too.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
awesome.
And I mean, Shane's email drip is unlike from somebody in the email, or not the email, but the real estate industry. It's unlike anything else out there, because it's
for the plug, buddy.
No, but I'm like talking about the fact that like when she's using it for clients, she's getting an advantage because it's something they haven't seen before. If you're going over this at all, like you're talking about soap opera sequences and things that are not used in the real estate community. Like they don't. It's all about like this monthly update or this crap about how home prices are rising. Like,
yeah.
yeah, like this thing makes it so personal. So props to Shane.
Okay, well, I'm gonna mention this right now because what I found most amazing, like I know my email drips work because we get like I watch the emails that come in, like the responses and stuff like that. Right? So I know they actually work, right? But what I thought was really really cool. So my wife uses the email drips, and I was telling you about this, Matt, the other day.
Which you need to go live on it still.
I know I still got to go live, but she got a freaking referral from somebody that she's never met that's been receiving her leads. And then all of a sudden she gets her phone call from this girl that's looking for a house. And she's like, hey, you know, this is so-and-so. And I got a referral from this other guy. And my wife was like, who? Like, I don't know who this is. I've never talked to this person. She goes through her database and it's basically a lead that she's never spoken to. She's been trying to reach him. And he's been like on this email drip for, you know, the longest time. So, you know, it just goes to show that, you know, although the open rates aren't that great, email's still very, very critical to, you know, nurture leads. It's easy to set up and you can automate the entire thing. So why would you not do it to nurture your database?
Well, and again, it just goes to your email drip because it's so personal. It's so personal. Like when people go through this thing, they feel like they know you. Like I use it, but I'm like so jealous of it because I didn't write it.
Well, I didn't really write it either. So, yeah,
hashtag secrets.
But yeah, so and it's not the first time this has happened, right? So I'm glad that Cheryl, you've been, you know, getting some value out of some of those resources, and you've been able to, and it's great that you're able to use some of the resources to actually make money, you know, add them as bonuses. And I anybody that's buying my email address or any of the other resources that we use, man, upsell people that stuff. Like, don't just give that away. You know, if you're going to build out email campaigns, upsell that. Maybe give out the first 30 days for free, and then, you know, maybe charge $250 to build up the next 30 days. If you're going to take the script, charge for, you know, doing a coaching call with the scripts. Like, don't do this stuff for free. Don't give away this stuff for free.
And Josh says, email drip is awesome. So
awesome. Thank you, sir.
You got a testimonial right there.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Thank you.
Agreed.
Again, it's not so much the email drip, it's the way that the email drip makes it so personal. Like people feel like they know you after they've gone through it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And it doesn't matter who uses it because the way it's written, it's genius.
Yeah, and we got the seller one that's coming out. So the extension's coming out now for the seller campaign, and we have an extension coming out for the lender campaign. So we're going from 30 to 90 days, which is pretty cool. So I'm pretty excited for those. Anybody that's ever bought them, you guys get all those for free, which has always been the deal. Except moving forward, I'm splitting them all out. So if you don't pick them up now, you're gonna be paying more. So I can't keep adding value like this and just, you know.
Well, not only that, but you know, we've partnered since then, and I'm like, Shane, you're selling a product by yourself.
I know. Now I gotta start splitting shit with people. Fucking that guy's greedy.
No, but we're also adding a real estate investor version of it that's going to be coming out as well.
Yeah, some motivated sellers. Yeah, so there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff. But for the people that have been supporting me or have been supporting, you know, us all this time, you guys get all these new updates for free. So that's always been the deal, because I really appreciate you guys. So okay, so Mike has a question here. Let me
go for it.
Yeah, so what was he saying here? Okay. Oh, okay. Actually, it's not even a question. I think it's just kind of a question. But maybe, Cheryl, maybe you can actually answer this. So he's saying, listen, group's really growing up here, which is awesome. We love it. We've grown to just over 1,100 members in a very, very short period of time, which is really cool. But he's asking, do you find that maybe the market, like maybe it's a bit saturated? What do you say to that? Like, are you finding the market to be saturated with too many marketers providing, too many services to real estate agents, or maybe it's just, platforms like Facebook are just becoming more and more saturated with real estate ads. What's your take on this?
So in terms of, from the, Facebook ads strategist or the agency perspective, I don't think it's saturated. I think that because we live, so many of us live in all these groups, and that's all we kind of see when we're on Facebook is like interaction in these groups, and everybody is a Facebook marketer, that we maybe tend to think that way falsely. But I mean, when I'm meeting people face to face, like clients and potential clients face to face, they repeatedly tell me nobody's teaching this kind of stuff. I didn't know that this stuff I could even do this kind of stuff with Facebook. To speak to the lunch and learns that I've been doing, I did one at a really big brokerage in New York City recently. I posted it on my personal page, but I was talking to one of the people afterwards, and they're like, "Wow, we've been looking for somebody like to do what you do for a really long time." So, I mean, I think so many of us are so used to being behind our computers, and that's where we're comfortable. Like, that's where I'm comfortable. I'm like classic INTJ on the Myers-Briggs scale. So I like computers and spreadsheets. And I get my energy from alone time rather than rooms full of people. So,
so funny.
I know.
Ironic, I understand the Myers-Briggs, so that's awesome.
Listen, I gotta say something, man. It's like Slim Shady just joined us.
Wait, are you kidding? Come on. Slim Shady would not wear this stuff.
It looks so much like him. It's crazy. Oh my God. I was like, when you sat down, I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" I know you're from Detroit, but I don't think he lives there anymore.
No, I think he was selling his house last I looked.
This is what happens when you legalize pot in Canada.
I'm in Michigan. It doesn't have any effect here.
I'm talking about me on this side. I'm just
okay.
Oh, I saw that in the news the other day. Yeah,
I know it's huge here. It's a big thing. So we talked about it. I think actually. What's that?
Michigan's
Everybody should move here. It's way more fun.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe it.
Yeah. So I just want to I want to say something about sort of the market saturation, especially in the specifically in the real estate niche. I don't think anybody needs to worry about this because first of all, I think I agree with you, Cheryl. Like we're such a small audience. And we're all in these same groups, and everybody knows kind of everybody. Like it's such a small audience. Like when you start going out there, and there are so many agents that are not active on Facebook. That's the first thing. One of the things I love about the real estate niche is that there's such a high turnover rate. It's huge. 95. So statistically, 95% of agents will quit within the first 5 years. So you have a whole new batch of agents that are going to start up again, and they're going to be looking for to do this kind of stuff. So if you look at there's 2.5. How many real estate agents in the U.S. right now? 2.5 million.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I think it's like 1.6 million maybe that are active. The rest of them aren't active. Mm-hmm. So that means every 5 years you got another batch of 1 million. You got about 1 million people that you can go after. So I don't
realtors.
What's that?
Plus Canadian realtors.
That's right. Plus the Canadian realtors. We got about 4,000 of them here in Canada. You
gotta have more than that. Come on.
I think it's just over 2. I think it's just over. Toronto. Yeah, there's actually I was just looking at the stats. Over 50. These were interesting stats in Toronto. Over 50,000 realtors are signed up to the Toronto board, and half of those have not. I think it was okay. My stats might be a little off. So it's either half of those realtors do 0 deals per year, or 50% of the realtors on that board do 4 deals or less per year.
Makes sense.
Crazy.
Well, the majority of realtors
I'm not really
do 4 deals or less per year. I think it changed recently. I think it's 6 deals or less per year, but that's like an average among real estate agents.
Yeah, it's very low. Yeah. So, okay, I got to finish these questions here. Let's see. How much extra are you charging when you include Facebook ads, funnels, and bots?
Well, first of all, do you include Facebook ads, funnels, and bots?
So I'm in terms of funnels, like I'm not using landing pages, if that's what the question is. I'm using basically lead forms for all the ads.
Right.
And yes, I'm using bots. So it's all packaged in that monthly rate. And like the bots and your drip campaigns and the other bonuses I throw in, those are basically, bonuses to make it like a no-brainer for them to sign up after I've basically showed them all these things prior in the presentation, like how valuable they are and what you can do with them. Then I, throw them in as bonuses afterwards. So yeah, not charging anything extra for them at the workshops.
Makes sense.
That's
the
awesome.
idea is, to make it an irresistible offer so that people see the value and they sign up and get as many folks as you can.
Absolutely.
That was it. That was all the questions.
Is that all
Nobody
the
else had questions. Yeah, I'm shocked. I thought people would be like,
oh my gosh.
But maybe Cheryl's just really good at explaining how to do this.
There we go.
Nice.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the masterclass that is coming up. Have we decided on the 20th? Is it the 20th or not quite?
Yeah, I think I'm good for that day.
We got this. Cheryl, does the 20th work for you?
It should. I'm just looking at my calendar.
We were supposed to discuss this before because all of a sudden Matt is going hunting again or something.
Yeah, of course.
That's fine.
You're taking all this time off. It's crazy. We're at like.
Yeah,
maybe we'll do a hunting giveaway where somebody can come hunting with me in January or something.
Yeah, we were talking about there's going to be Thanksgiving. That's why we decided not to do it on.
That's right. Yeah, normally I do go on Thanksgiving, but this year we're going around the 13th or 14th.
So when's Thanksgiving? Because I've already had Thanksgiving here. So.
The 22nd.
Yeah, we don't waste time here in Canada. Right? I don't know why you guys are so far down. Get the Thanksgiving out of the way. Come on, Christmas. That's right.
I think my wife's putting up the tree tomorrow, so I can't argue with you.
My neighbors have had their Christmas lights up since June, so everybody gets really excited here for Christmas.
They just never took them down from last year. That's
it's because it's snowing when it comes the end of July in Canada.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Gotta start building igloos, buddy.
No, but for real, I think, are we looking at the 20th for real, or is it still undecided?
That works for me.
I'm good. Okay, good stuff. So November 20th. Yeah, November 20th masterclass. We're holding a masterclass here. Cheryl has agreed to share all of her secrets, go in depth, exactly how to do this. Everything from step by step on how to put together the presentation, exactly what you need to talk about and how to talk about it. In addition to that, let me bring up my notes because I took some notes here. In addition to that, the exact stack that you need to add inside of your presentation in order to get your agents to sign up for retainers at the end of it.
The value stack is huge. So many people don't even know this thing exists. Like, go read Expert Secrets, or is it Expert Secrets or .com Secrets? One of them. Go read it, because the value stack is so huge, and I fought it for so long, and I wish I had not.
Okay, let me finish.
Sorry.
Let me. Where's my mute button? This guy, because he's not gonna stop every time I say something.
He's gonna start blurring out his face.
Okay, the exact stack presentation, get your agents to sign at the end of it. We're going to be covering that. Cold email strategy and all the scripts that you need. We're covering that in the masterclass. The exact methods that you need to follow in order to get your clients to these events. How to host the event and find the venues. And then also the bonus recording. So basically Cheryl's recordings of the events. So you get all of this inside of the masterclass. If you guys are interested in this masterclass, hashtag down below. Cheryl, what do you want people to hashtag? You are our guest.
Oh man, now I'm drawing a blank now. There's so much.
Hashtag masterclass?
Okay.
That works. Hashtag masterclass.
Okay, fine. I thought maybe you guys could come up with something a little bit more original, but I guess not.
I'm out of hashtags. I burnt out. I peaked early on that.
Okay, hashtag masterclass if you guys are interested and want to get
This is what happens at the end of the show.
At the bottom of the glass.
Right?
If you guys want to, if you, can I finish?
Hang on, Shane. Hashtag bottom of the glass. Okay, Shane.
Okay, we're good. Okay, so third week in November is when we are holding the masterclass. So if you want to find out more information about this and get notified and be able to get access early bird access to this masterclass, let us know. Like I said, Cheryl is going to go dive deep into everything here on how to set up your presentations, how to set up the stack, how to send out what emails to send out, the scripts for the emails, and the exact methods to get people into these events, and also how to host the events, what to talk about, and everything you need to put one of these together. Start making bank and signing clients. $24,000, 11 new clients in 3 days. Is absolutely phenomenal. And I am super, super impressed with what you've been able to do, Cheryl. And I'm super excited to do this masterclass because I can't wait to see. I know both Matt and I are like, just chomping at the bit here to see
we're like,
what you're going to teach
let's
us.
end the show so that we can talk about what's going to be in the masterclass.
That's right. That's right. And then a couple bonuses too for that masterclass, the exact recordings. So you get to actually see Cheryl do the presentations and everything she does. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel here. And I think that's going to be really, really cool. So if you guys are interested, hashtag masterclass, you'll get first dibs to
well, no. We're raising the price, right, Shane?
We are?
We are not going to keep it at the same price the entire time, guys. We are
we're going to be testing out Cheryl's
we are doing a tiered
methods.
we are doing a tiered pricing method. We'll tell you ahead of time, right? So you know ahead
Every
of
5 minutes it goes up.
5 minutes? Okay, whatever. Like, we might not let Shane control this, but at the end of the day,
I was planning on giving you something to do, so you stop talking.
Well, we are going to offer this. I think, Shane, are we releasing the landing page for this on Monday? Is that the plan?
So Monday we're going to put out all the information about this stuff.
And we will be tagging anybody who hashtags masterclass. We'll tag you in the post when we launch it on Monday. And again, we only have 97 spots because that's what Zoom gets us. We sold over 100 of the last masterclass and conversion course. So,
that was insane. Like, we've got over 100.
If you want in, you need to hashtag masterclass. You need to get in before this thing is too late. We're going to launch it at $97, and that is going to be on Monday. However, that price point is not going to stay the whole time. Again, it's 3 weeks, and the first week, it is going to be $97. So you need to get in. It's going to be a steal of a deal. Seriously, you hold one of these things that you have.
You make your money back. The first two tickets you sell, you make your money back.
Well, and we're going over the complete cold email strategy, which, I mean, Cheryl, I forget, but how long is the trial period for Quick Mail?
I don't know. I think 2 weeks or something like that. Yeah.
It's like, you guys can test this out and see how much money you make in the first 14 days. I think you're going to be shocked because you're going to make money. And
let me just say something too. If you're working in other niches, this works for other niches too. It doesn't just need to be for real estate. You could probably do this in anything, right? I think it works really well for real estate because they're kind of used to it. But this probably could work in other niches. So again, another thing I like about the real estate niche is how easy it is to get a hold of real estate agents. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so easy to find their email address. So easy to find their cell phone number.
And we're going to teach you all of that. We're going to teach you all of that in the masterclass, how to go find it, how to pay somebody to go find it. If you just want somebody else to go do it for you, how to pay them hardly anything to go do it.
Yeah, and also we didn't talk about this, but I can throw in my lunch and learn strategy too.
Whoa! Hang on, that's a one-time off or upsell there. Not throwing nothing in.
If you want,
I'm kidding.
Recently, and I've closed a couple clients from that too, and actually got an invite to come back and do a 5-part basically 5-part series, Lunch and Learn, where I can pitch at the Lunch and Learn. So
Very
it's
nice.
a room with like 50 people, and I don't have to do anything but show up and teach them some stuff. So
No, that's
And the lunch and learns are kind of nice too, because they don't, like, there's not as much preparation that goes into those. They are typically free, right?
yeah,
For
and
the
you get
lunch and
10 to
learns.
20 minutes. That's it. You don't get much time.
Yeah, and you get free pizza. Well, you're paying for the pizza, but whatever.
Yeah,
You still,
it's usually
at least you're getting some
Hungry
pizza.
Howie's. It's not like Pizza Hut or something, but
But the really nice thing is that it's really easy to get in front of people, right? And establish yourself as the expert, as an authority. You get to start conversations, and it's a really good way to put yourself out there, right? And
just as a secret, we'll give it away ahead of time, guys. From the agent standpoint, if you want to stand out in the Lunch and Learns, bring something besides pizza. It's crazy.
Sushi.
Yes, we had somebody bring in sushi, and I still remember. Okay, I still remember. And like,
Dude,
they made sushi that day, and it's like, oh, mind blown. Like,
you know what you bring? So I just saw like the new burger place. So like we have all these like Burger King, not Burger King.
Did we lose Shane?
No, I'm here. Hello.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Hear me? My
You
computer's.
froze for a second.
Be
Can you
live.
still hear me?
Not always nice to Shane.
Okay.
But he's back.
No, and we keep talking every time we end one of these. We always talk about upgrading to like Blue Jeans or
Ecamm, yeah.
Ecamm or something, and Matt never does it.
I know.
Never ever does it.
I'm like, one of these days I'll make.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to make that $79 investment into Ecamm.
Hashtag Ecamm.
Hashtag cheap. Cheap AF. Cheap as fuck.
Right there.
It's like,
Thank you for clarifying for everybody who's wondering. Yeah.
it's like,
2018, we're confused.
Okay, guys. So we're good? We're done. I don't see any more questions here. And we've gone from having an insane, like 25 people watching, which has been awesome. Thank you so much for your support. And now we're down to 8. So it's okay. If people got tired, they come back and watch the end of it and stuff like that.
It's all good.
Elite 8.
Which is awesome.
Elite 8, I like that.
Little NCAA for you.
I think that's basketball, right?
Yeah, March Madness.
I should know that.
Although it's November. But
Okay, I'm gonna do my outro here. If that's
all right.
cool.
Go ahead and do the outro.
Matt, you want to
for the hashtags?
Like your voice must be getting so tired here, and your throat must be like hurting from all the talking.
At least ask for the hashtag, Shane.
What was the hashtag?
Trooper, right?
Oh yeah. Hey, holy shit. Yeah. If you've spent the entire 2 hours here, hashtag Trooper down below again.
Live or replay, hashtag
live
Trooper.
or replay. Thanks, guys. We appreciate your support so much. Thank you for making this group incredibly amazing for everybody. Cheryl.
Also, if you guys want this to be a podcast, hashtag podcast, because I'm telling you, Shane, people want this. They want to listen to it at work where they don't have to watch it and see me wear a hat.
Are you good now? Are you good?
I had to get that out there.
Okay. We're done. Shh. Guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Thanks for joining us. Cheryl, thank you so much for coming on this this really interesting live. We had a blast. We had a great time learning about your methods, and we really
Stick around for the after show.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. We want to talk to you a little bit after this, but everybody else that's been watching, if you're still here, thanks so much for joining us. And again, thank you so much for being a part of this amazing group. And that's it. Matt, you want to add anything to that?
Nope. Thank you, guys.
Good.
Hashtag Trooper if you made it all the way in. Hashtag Matt, keep talking. If you
Good night. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Cheryl. Again,
Bye, guys.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay, take care.